Remedy's first attempt at a co-op shooter has arrived in FBC Firebreak, and this video is going to break it all down for you. The currencies, progression, everything that you need to understand about FBC Firebreak, and if you do like sci-fi games like me, maybe consider subscribing. So, FBC Firebreak is clearly influenced in its progression by the other co-op games that have come before it. We're going to start with its missions. At launch, this game contains 5 of them, which admittedly I would have liked another 1 to 2 for its price tag, but more on that later. Each mission has 3 tiers to it, each tier containing a new section within the mission and a new objective, i.e. you play tier 1, you have 1 objective and you extract, tier 2, you do 2 objectives and you extract, and so on and so forth. All 5 missions contain 3 tiers. The higher the tier, the greater the rewards. For each tier, you'll have to complete it at the previous tier before it. So, to play at tier 2, you'll have to have completed that mission at tier 1. And to play at tier 3, complete it at tier 2. Once you've completed that mission at all 3 tiers, you will unlock corruption tiers. Speaking of then, there are 2 other modifiers at play in this game. Difficulty that ranges from easy to extreme, and corruption. The important modifier here is corruption, which will once again increase our chances of getting viable resources within the mission. For those that have played Helldivers 2, these resources will feel very similar to the samples in that game, as they function in the same vein. Each mission specialises in a different type of sample that you can farm. As far as I can tell, difficulty has no bearing on these samples. Corrupted level 1 equals 1 corrupted item and area, 2 has 2, and corruption level 3 has 3 corrupted items in each level. As for how to destroy these, I'll cover these in a second when I talk about samples usage. Which brings us to currencies and progression. FBC Firebreak keeps things pretty simple when it comes to currencies. There is one standard currency used across all of the main progression here. These are your lost assets. This marker right here. Lost assets can be obtained across any tier in difficulty. They are used to purchase skill points for the first time once you've reached a high enough level to get them, and they're also used for requisitions, which again for Helldivers players, these are acting as war bonds, but more on them later. To get the lost assets, you need to pick up either the clipboards or the satchels containing them, and extract with them at the end of the mission. The lost assets are best found by defeating powerful enemies and obtained in the shelters. There are a few scattered around the mission, but those 2 are your main sources. You will notice that once you first unlock a skill using these assets, that there are 3 layers to each skill: weak, strong, and resonance. And this is where those secondary currencies come in, as I mentioned before, the samples. Green is resonant globes, then you've got achromatic sand, yellow is vicious strips, whispering ash, and then numbered splinters. 5 secondary currencies, 5 missions, each that specialise in a different currency. For example, Hotfix specialises around whispering ash. To obtain these secondary currencies, you have to be playing at a corrupted tier in that mission. So by playing at corrupted tier level 3, it means that that special currency will spawn in each mission area. Therefore, the higher the corruption level you do, the more of that resource you will be able to extract with. Basically, max corruption equals maximum amount of that material possible. Your corruption level determines how many corrupted items spawn. Research samples only spawn in the area with a corrupted item in it. You will get them for destroying the corrupted item, and you can find them scattered around that zone. It's also important to note that research samples and lost assets drop upon death, so you'll need to go back and pick them up if you do die. So what are corrupted items? Well, these are secondary objectives that spawn in each zone depending on what your corrupted level is. If you're just at corrupted level 1, it's just going to spawn in one of the 3 zones that you're playing at. When the corrupted item spawns, you will need to get the Black Rock gun. This is most often located in that area's ammo station, tucked into the left hand side as you can see here. As I said, you will get these samples from destroying that corrupted item, but you will also find them around the area. Just listen out for this almost glowing resonating sound and they'll be there on the floor. Be careful with how you use the Black Rock gun, as you cannot refill this ammo, so you only get 3 rounds worth and then it's gone. 1 should spawn in each area, however. Gathering these samples, as I say, means you can unlock those extra perk tiers after you've unlocked that skill for the very first time. Each perk has 3 tiers to it that go all the way to resonance, so you'll need some kind of combination between lost assets and one of those secondary currencies to obtain it. Speaking of perks then, let's talk levels. There are two different levels for your character, class level and your main level. Your class level dictates how many perks you can have active at any time. Fixer level 1 means you can only equip one perk. Fixer level 4 means 4 active perks, and it goes all the way up to 9, meaning once you reach a class level 9, you can have 9 perks active on your character at that moment. Class levels are separate for each of the 3 classes, meaning you have to get each one up to level 9 if you are planning to play across all the 3 classes and have your perks equipped. You get XP for your class level in the same way that you get XP for your overall level. You just play the game as the class that you want to level up. Your overall level is separate. As you can see here, I'm a fixed level 4, but my overall level is 11. Your overall level only impacts one thing, your research. What skills you're able to unlock are tied to what your overall level is. The highest one being Night Terrors that need you to get to level 47. So, to recap, skills are unlocked in the Research tab. What skills are available to you at any moment is dependent on what your overall level is. You use lost assets to unlock a skill for the first time. Once a skill is unlocked, you'll need a combination of lost assets and a secondary currency to upgrade that skill. Each skill has 3 tiers to it. Each mission specializes in a different currency, so you'll know which mission you need to run depending on what skill you're after and what currency you need. These skills carry across all classes. How many perks that you can equip to your loadout is dependent on the level of your class, i.e. Fix Kit, Jump Kit, or Splash Kit. If you reach class level 9, you can have a maximum of 9 skills active on your character. Moving on to Requisitions. I mentioned how FBC Firebreak keeps it simple with one main currency, and that also applies to Requisitions too. Again, these are very similar to Helldiver's War Bonds. At launch, there are 2 Requisition packs, Operational Essentials and Firestarter. Firestarter, you don't need to worry about too much, it comes with the deluxe edition of the game, and it's pure cosmetics. The main one that we want to worry about is Operational Essentials. There are 9 pages in this requisition, each offering a variety of items, including gameplay enhancing ones. To unlock extra pages, a certain amount of lost assets must be spent in the requisition to progress. In this requisition, it contains improved weapons, cosmetics, items, sprays, augments, grenades, and improved tools. There are 3 rarities to each item: faulty, functional, and optimized. And for the final one, most of which come in at the back end of the requisition pass. It leaves you with a choice of, do you want to spend your lost assets in the research for your skill points, or do you want to spend it here in the requisition for better items? Different items have different costs, so sprays being the cheapest and weapons of course being the most expensive. Personally, I believe you should fast track to get items and augments for the class that you want to play as, and they're the best use of your lost assets at the start. Also beware that these augments and items auto-equip. There's no mix and match in here. Just like Fix, Jump, and Splash go left to right in the class selection, so do the items and augments, meaning the item on the far left in this requisition is for the Fix class, and on the far right is for Splash. You can double check because it always mentions the tool in the description of an item or augment, but I just wanted to let you know so you don't make any mistakes. Items and augments automatically equip to your class, so you don't need to worry about equipping those. They are sick though. Proper Remedy design, if you know what I mean. Just weird, but in a mint way. As for the Firestarter requisition that comes with the deluxe edition, it's just cosmetic, so there's no pay to win. You don't need to worry about it if you don't want it. Just pay to look cool, I guess. Quickly touching over customization, you can customize your helmet, body armor, gloves, your voice preset, and the sprays that you can use in-game. Each class has its own loadout. Again, number of perks available are what your class level are. Guns and grenades are cross-class, so you can mix and match in that way however you want. Same goes for your customization too. There is no class uniqueness in what you would see from like a Destiny, for example. The game does have crossplay to join up on a friend. You just need to generate a random code for your session, give that code to a friend to type in. Really simple actually, and I've seen too many convoluted crossplay measures, so good job to Remedy for that. However, there is no game chat, both voice or text, which is a massive miss for this kind of game. Which brings me to my final point, some early thoughts. There's no doubt that the shining aspects of this game is that it's a Remedy game. I'm just happy to be back in the world of Control. It looks fantastic, and no longer being this telekinesis superhero that Jesse Faden is brings a whole new dimension to the enemies, considering that they used to be cannon fodder that you just muck around with and you dash them at each other, and now They're a lot more scary. I do think that regardless of Game Pass and PlayStation Plus offerings, 5 missions is light for a 32 quid price tag, even with the promise of free post-launch missions. I think the guns feel surprisingly good, and I do actually applaud Remedy for no daily or weekly challenges. At the start, it's going to feel like you do not get many lost assets, but when you bump that difficulty up and you do more corruption levels, let me tell you, you get a lot. But it does feel like a bit of a throwback co-op game. It has the weirdness and the beauty of a Remedy game, but I don't think it packs the firepower as to what their titles often bring. There's a lot to unlock here in terms of guns and gadgets and skill points that I've already begun to bear the fruits of, but I'm asking myself, how long can I run these same 5 missions for? Granted, I've only ran a few of these at the high corruption tiers, and yeah, it does change up the mission with those corrupted items, but yeah. Personally, I love Control, I'm happy to be back in this universe, and it's a nice package whilst I wait for that sequel. I do feel a little bit shortchanged in that I needed just 1 or 2 more missions here for that added variety, regardless of how funny the post-it guys are. With friends, it's such a better time. I don't recommend this solo in the slightest. It doesn't feel balanced for it. And matchmaking's been a little bit weird day one, but that of course will get resolved over time. So far it's good, maybe just not Remedy great. But that's a complete guide to FBC Firebreak. I would love to hear your thoughts so far. Are you checking it out, or are you just waiting for Control 2 at this point? If this guide helps you, you could do the same for me by dropping a like, and as I said at the top, sci-fi games, we cover them. News, reviews, guides, streams, so consider subscribing. I'd love to have you around. All socials are down below. Regardless, I hope you have a terrific day. Play games, get gains, and I will catch you in the next one.